It's that time of the year again. We're back into coaches' corners, and we're not stopping too soon as we get right into volleyball and football previews coming all this week, all next week as we gear up for the season. We got a little volleyball action though for you today. Into the AAC we go with the Austintown Fitch skipper, Miss Coach Herberger, joining me today. Kylee, how we doing today?
Good. How are you, Ty?
I'm not doing too bad, and I mean, you guys weren't doing too bad. And you got that first year now under your belt with the Falcons head coaching job. You were 18-6 last year. A lot of good things we saw from this squad. Kind of just go back to last season. Talk to me about just taking the reins, trying to instill your culture with a team that had a coach prior, but trying to get, I guess, those new things, your I guess culture into the team.
Honestly, last year we had a very special group. Coming in, I couldn't have asked for a better group of girls just to welcome me. We meshed very well together. I think a lot of our same goals, our same drive matched up and aligned, which made it super easy. My seniors were very driven and they wanted to do as well as they could. And we're gonna miss them a lot. But I mean, honestly, as a team, chemistry wise, that's where we really focus on is just kind of learning together and growing together. And I think we accomplished that a lot last season.
I know you're going to lose a couple of your top kill getters from last year too, a couple of seniors in both Afton and then after Roby and Jordan Smith. But I know as long as you got that old number one as your setter, things can go right around you too. Let's meet the team or what we can expect to some names we can expect to be saying the name of during this year for Fitch volleyball.
Well, definitely Riley Simons is definitely up there. I mean, she's phenomenal, and honestly, having her only as a junior this year, um, is even better. I mean, she's just one of a very like strong and solid player that we can always count on. And then we also have Izzy Dorenzo in the back row. So between the two of them, our ball control has honestly never been better. Um, and then Kylie Folkwine on the outside. You have Morgan Roby coming back. Don't forget Kayleigh Ray. I mean, she's phenomenal athlete. And then we have some seniors stepping up too. I mean, Katie Wilt has done a very nice job over the summer, working very hard. Avery Lynn Sackerman has also been doing a very nice job kind of filling in those roles. So, I mean, our depth this year is very strong.
Going into last season, when you took over first year head coach, there was already that kind of culture of this team wins conference almost every year, and they had won it multiple times going into your first season. You were able to check that box off, continue that sort of culture, continue that string of success for it. Does this year two as Fitch head coach, does it feel any easier? Does it a little less nerve-wracking for you, or all the
No,
nerves
never.
still the same?
Nerves are still the same, just because I mean, different challenges each year. I mean, right, it brings its own challenges. We have a new like makeup. We lost a little bit of height there, so we're trying to find our own strengths. And with that, I mean, it's just new challenges. We have a very like strong, challenging schedule this year too. So I mean, every year you still. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably more nervous this year than last year, just to make sure that we prove ourselves again.
You pack the schedule again with all those teams that we know and love in the volleyball community in and around the Mahoning Valley area too. You open up with Walsh Jesuit too, but
Mhm.
talk to me about this opener. Talk to me about a little bit about this schedule too, and just the names up and down the list that you were able to pack into this very tough gauntlet like schedule.
Right. So we started off with Walsh Jesuit. They're a very strong team. We got to scrimmage them last year a little bit. We haven't seen them that yet this year, but they're always pretty solid. I mean, they have a nice coach up there. I know she was a setter, and I think she played at Buffalo. Like she knows what she's doing. And then we also play Massillon Jackson. We have them thrown in there. We go to a tournament up in Avon Lake, and they've been very solid. They went pretty far in the tournament last year. We also play Louisville, who I'm excited for a rematch again. Crestview is always up there. I mean, they're just like Abby's phenomenal. So, I mean, it's a tough schedule, and like it's just going to be a fun ride.
You talk about that schedule up and down. There's never an off date or never an easy date, right? When you talk
No.
about that schedule, I want to talk about the conference too. We mentioned you guys winning the conference. Obviously, the other four teams in the AAC, I think, kind of look to Fitch volleyball wise as the one with the target on their back, right? They're coming for you. They're gunning for you. What's that like for the girls? What's that like for you, knowing that you're kind of, I guess, in that driver's seat position where you know the target's on your back? What is that like for the practices? What is that like in the talks with the girls that getting them to understand where they kind of have to be mentality wise, knowing that they're the ones that are hunted instead of the ones that are hunting?
Right. Well, I mean, part of our philosophy is like we have a high standard and we want to meet that no matter what. Because I mean, time is limited and time is a gift. So it's like every time we step in the gym, we always want to make sure that we're giving our all. And I mean, right, we do have a target on our back, and we know everyone's gunning for us, especially how we started out last season going 8-0. So that, I mean, learning off of that, we know people are gunning for us, and we know that no matter who's on the other side, we still have to play our game, and we have to make sure that we're living up to our standards.
You talk about just your coaching volleyball experience too. I know we talked about it a little bit last year too, but I guess I never got a chance to just ask why volleyball though. What kind of made you kind of pigeonhole yourself into volleyball, saying I want to be a coach for this. I want to develop the next generations of talent in this. What made you say I want to be a volleyball coach?
Well, I have my parents to blame for that one. So growing up, my mom was a volleyball coach and my grandma was a volleyball coach. So ever since I can remember, I was in the gym with a ball constantly. And then it's like since then, didn't stop, and I played college at the University of Findlay, and and then I was a graduate assistant down at UTEP, the University of Texas El Paso, and I was a head coach at one of the high schools down there. Um, and then coming back up here, it wasn't really like in the cards at first, and then I was growing my own family, and then I realized like as soon as this job opened up, how much I actually missed it, and I'm so glad that I'm able like to get this opportunity to get my hands back on the volleyball.
You multiple generations in your family that's been involved with the sport. I mean, you guys go all the way back probably to before rally scores too. You guys have your roots in that too. When you
Hey,
talk
I'm
about
not that old.
not you personally, maybe the grandmother. That is what I'm saying. When you talk about all those generations and all this, I guess, wealth and knowledge that you have for the sport, do you find yourself talking to those two often too? If you still can, that is. Do you find yourself using maybe advice that you've gotten from them too? Do you kind of see yourself coaching like your grandmother, your mother of years past?
So my parents, I talk to them every day. They are very involved in all of this. And honestly, my dad is going to be thrilled that you're asking this question because he was a football coach for years and years and years. So they both have like a deep well of knowledge for coaching and all that stuff. So yes, they're like the first people I call on the way home just to tell them everything. And honestly, they get offended if I don't call them first.
When you talk about that, I always had that relationship with my dad too. The calls after the games too, and I love it too. I cherish those moments as much as you can for sure. Looking at yourself from last year too, and I mean, I know the coaches, I know players, you guys all have that mentality over there at Austintown where you always want to get better. You still will look
Mhm.
at the things you can improve on. When you look at last season too, 18-6, successful season, you won the conference, but I know there's always something more that a lot of you coaches want to. What are some improvements you can see that can be made from last year's team to this year's team? Obviously, it's not the same team going from last year to this
Mhm.
year, but what are some things you can see maybe yourself improving as a coach wise? Maybe some things the team can improve improvement wise.
So one of the big things that we're focusing on this year is scoring our own points. It's like more like terminating the balls, getting those like our ace percentage up and also like our hitting percentages up. Like we did okay. Well, right, we were very successful, but I still think those areas that we can improve on and just keep like scoring our own points and terminating the balls and not letting teams hang out for those long rallies.
I like a lot of the girls that are coming in. I think it leaves an open door for a lot of girls to step up and really make a name for themselves this year. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to call some new names this year. But I know one name we're going to call. I know one name you already mentioned, Riley Simons. And I want to talk a little bit about this young lady because you don't get to go play in the Vegas national team if you're not pretty good. You don't average over 10
Right.
assists a set if you're
Hmm.
not pretty special. 800 assists last two seasons, freshman and sophomore year, unheard of stats. What makes Riley Simons so good as a setter? What makes her so unpredictable? What makes her so effective where no matter front row, back row, wherever you have her, she's able to make her mark on that floor almost every set, it feels like.
Well, I mean, I've said this before. Number one, she's very, very, very smart. She's very smart with the ball, smart with the choices, but she also works so hard, and she's one of our best hustlers. I mean, she's going after the ball nonstop, and she just wants to work hard, and no matter where we are or who we're playing, gives 110% all the time.
When you look at the other girls' sports in Fitch, it feels like with the success of all the sports as a whole, everyone's getting a little pep in the step. And back-to-back softball state champions, it feels like that's kind of helped carry over too. We've seen success in the basketball team. We've seen continued success in the volleyball team that was already there. How are the girls attitude wise, whether they played other sports or not? How are the confidence of these young ladies in Austintown? How's the pep in their step knowing that athletics through Austintown has been one of the top tiers girls side for the last 5 years?
I mean, it's awesome. The environment that they have, it's just and I mean, it's not arrogance at all because it's hard work. They put the work in all the time, and that's where the confidence comes from is the hard work. They know that what they have to do to accomplish these certain goals, and they set these goals like they set certain goals for themselves and for their team, and they know that every day they have to just work hard for it. And that's what's really special. It's like the amount of hard work and grit these kids have, whether it's for me or for Coach Ward. I mean, they're constantly giving it their all, and I mean, they just have like this attitude that they're I don't know, they're just game players where they're just like, like no matter what challenge, they're just gonna bring it and bring all they have.
Get the game face on, lock in, and
Mhm.
get ready. That's what I love to see, the competitiveness. Give this Austintown community a little bit of a shout out. Why they need to come out and support volleyball this year. Why this group of girls. Why this team is going to be fun to watch and worth their time.
Honestly, it's just fun to watch. They work so hard. I mean, we play so hard and we play great teams. So, I mean, this level of volleyball, you don't get to see it that much around here during like the season because I mean, club tournaments are all over, who knows, everywhere. So, I mean, it's just fun to watch. It's fun to support these girls who put so much work into the sport that they love.
Get out there and support them, Austintown faithful. They've been ruling the roost for the last few years in volleyball, and they look to have another season of conference success under their belt. August 20th against Walsh Jesuit, they host them
Yep.
7 p.m., 6 p.m. First, what do we
It
expect?
depends on Davy.
6 to 7, either or. YSN will be there for that first game too. So if you can't make it out in attendance, you know where you can find it as well. It's been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the skipper over at Fitch Volleyball, Coach Kylee Herberger.
Thanks, Ty.